Good morning, Ellie.
Morning. Can I start by asking you about this one-in, one-out migrant return deal which starts today? What's your response to that? Are you hopeful that it will work?
Well, one in, one out would be great, but that's very, very far from the truth. This is something like 1 in, 17 in, 1 possibly out. And at that level, I think it's unlikely to have the incentive effect that even the Home Secretary, who's presided over the biggest growth in arrivals since the Norman Conquest, has ever contemplated. But let's just unpack a tiny bit. Nobody should be coming here on a small boat from France. France is a safe country. It is a permanent 5 member of the United Nations. Along with the United Kingdom, it gave human rights to the world. No one should be in fear of death or prosecution in France. They may have some interesting menu choices sometimes, but there's no reason for people to leave France and come to the United Kingdom. And that insight is somehow lost on this government. It's lost on the criminal justice system. It's lost on the immigration tribunals. But people who come to this country illegally should all be returned, not some sort of lottery ticket where 90 or 90% of those who arrive somehow get to stay, and the Home Secretary thinks that is in any way acceptable.
Well, Andrew, what do you think is acceptable? Do you think anybody arriving is acceptable?
Not illegally and not via the small boats people smuggler ecosystem. And just look, if each one of those boats was carrying a small French artwork from their wonderful museums, do we not think that the French gendarmes would do a better job of puncturing their dinghies? In fact, the only dinghy we've ever seen punctured was in a photo shoot the day before President Macron came to meet our Prime Minister. So no illegal arrivals, full deportation of those who have committed offences and are blocking up spaces in British jails such that 16,000 criminals under this government have been released because they haven't got the capacity because of foreign national offenders. And then you can look at all of the other ways by which people come here and decide what is the right level of immigration. But, you know, remember, your viewers can't get a GP appointment. Your viewers' children can't get on the housing ladder. The 9 million people of working age adults in this United Kingdom sitting on benefits, and then immigrants coming to do those jobs.
Look, we get all
so the
that.
whole system is broken, Eamon.
Okay, so
and this
what about
not
Keir
an
Starmer?
adequate response
What is
to
Keir
that.
Starmer's game then? Is this his way of sucking up to Europe again? Why on earth would he be doing it if there's no tangible benefit in all of this? Why is he doing it?
Oh, I think Keir Starmer is doing this because we and other parties are breathing down the necks of Labour MPs. This is the most unpopular government in history. One reason why is it's clear that far from saying he had a plan to smash the gangs, he had no plan at all to deal with illegal immigration, just as Rachel Reeves had no plan to grow the economy. She thought she would just rock up and not be the Conservatives, and somehow everything would be magical. And ever since, we've seen unemployment rise, the level of growth fall, and she's gone on a complete borrowing spree that is really risking the United Kingdom's debt rating and ability to continue to service our debts as they fall due. So they just, as a government, they didn't have a plan. And whilst 1 in, 17 in, 1 out, maybe some sort of plan, it's not an adequate plan for the sort of challenge that we're seeing daily on our streets now.
Can I ask you about the prison system? Because there's a damning new report out today which sheds a light on the capacity crisis and other issues as well at the heart of all of this. It reports that Britain's prison system came within days of collapse on a number of occasions between autumn of 2023 and summer of 2024. So that was under your watch as the Conservatives. The Justice Secretary, Ms Mahmood, has said that it lays bare the disgraceful way in which the Conservative government ran our prisons. What's your response to that?
No, look, this is. I mean, let's not take this seriously. This is a bit of a political hit job from a Justice Secretary who has released 16,000 convicted, jailed offenders back out onto British streets to re-offend. Of course, she's trying to do everything to give herself head cover. Of course, the criminal justice system, the jails for decades. No, look, of course, for decades, our jails have been full. Full jails isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's showing that we increased the number, the length of offences, so we had tougher sentences, and we were convicting more people. What is wrong is the number of places that are taken up by foreign national offenders, where the government refuses to use every lever within their power, whether that's trade or aid or access to visas, to make countries take back their foreign national offenders and free up those 10,000 jail places. And what is wrong is that Justice Secretary has released 16,000 criminals in the first year of a Labour government alone. No wonder our streets are not safe.
We're almost out of time with you, but you're here to talk to us today with a warning about what you say are Labour's plans with new investment taxes.
Look, this is a really worrying time for people. We've got another sequel where we've got a long, hot summer of uncertainty followed by a Labour tax grab budget in the autumn. And the worry is that this time, in her sights, because Angela Rayner, who's the Deputy Prime Minister, is pulling so many of the strings, are the nation's savers and investors. And that not only hurts those who'd be brought into paying more tax, doing things like removing the dividend tax allowance or changing the status of AIM shares, but it also undermines investment in the economy. Last week or a week or two ago, the Chancellor was at the Mansion House dinner in the City talking about how we can get more investment for British firms, reverse a trend that's been going on for a very significant amount of time, seeing companies leave the London listing market and go overseas and seek their fortune, young people leaving this country. The very last thing we need is an attack on the very people who invest in British companies. And they could rule this out this afternoon.